imposter syndrome. Probably all heard of this phrase. Sorry, that really caught me off guard. That cyclist going past. Yeah, you probably all heard of this. That kind of feeling that you're going to get found out, that you're a fraud, that despite maybe past experiences and past achievements, and also currently achieving, you just feel like you're not really meant to be there, and that you're going to get exposed. So first of all, I don't know if you could see the sunrise. I know that I go on about this a bit, but I just think it's incredible. I'm really appreciating it at the moment. I think especially watching these videos back, it's stunning. So even if you click off the video right now, I hope that you enjoyed the sunset, and even if you don't want to hear my voice, which I understand, and you want to just watch the sunset for 10 minutes or so, again, I completely understand. Might be a nicer experience. Feeling a little bit more lively today, a little bit more awake, and got a bit of a buzz about me, maybe. We'll see. I shouldn't preempt it, because now 5 minutes in I'll start doing again, but anyway, I've got to be positive. It's Monday morning. So talking about imposter syndrome, I feel like everyone struggles with this at some point. I felt kind of like this throughout school. I did pretty well at school, but I just felt like every time I did an essay, or every time I did an essay exam, I'm gonna fail. Or that's not strictly true. Like, the subjects I was good at, I did have faith in and I was confident, but there was definitely this feeling of, okay, even though you're consistently doing quite well, I had no confidence or no real idea in what I was going to get, and that's a really weird feeling. Going to uni, doing English, I guess that one was almost justified, because often you'd be creating your own topic and writing on your chosen book or whatever it is, and so already there's that seed of doubt, thinking, is it right, seed of doubt? I think so. I'm really bad at those like idioms, isn't it, or sayings. But yeah, there was that seed of doubt of well, first of all, is this topic any good? Second of all, am I writing about this topic in a way that makes sense? And then, am I writing about this topic in a way that makes sense and is actually going to get me good marks? So there's just layers to it, and also then comparing yourself to others, reading your friends' essays or whatever it is, and thinking, God, this sounds really good. I'm just not there. So I felt that throughout my undergrad degree. I felt a bit like, oh, these people are just, they seem to just get it more than me. I thought that I got it. I thought that I was pretty good at English, and it was kind of my thing at the time. But I still felt like there was almost that level that I hadn't unlocked, and therefore I was the imposter. Therefore I'm going to get found out, because these people should actually be at uni, and I'm kind of just doing my essays overnight, as I often did, doing my exams. So we had 24-hour exams. It was around COVID time, and for the whole of my English degree, the exams were 24 hours. So I'd either be at home at uni, or like in my what's it called, accommodation, and for some reason I almost think it was like, I saw it as a bit of a personality trait. It's really stupid, but I'd leave my essays last minute. I'd plan them a lot, but then I'd leave them last minute. the exams, I would just kind of chill. So they'd come out at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd then chill and go on a walk or go to the gym or something. And then just got a bit of a look. Not a nice one. Bit of a anyway, from that guy. Never mind. But yeah, I feel like I would maybe think about what I'm going to write, but not really plan until hours and hours and hours later, and then I'd just end up writing it overnight, and I just don't know why I did that. I'd feel horrible, I'd not sleep really. It's like I needed that stress to actually get me going. I wonder if, and get me sort of started on getting the exams done. I wonder if anyone else was like that at uni, or just is like that generally with their education. Anyway, and it went off on a bit of a tangent, as I always do. But yeah, imposter syndrome. So I felt like that quite a lot at uni. I then, doing my master's psychology conversion course, I think speaks for itself, doesn't it? Conversion course, I'm going from never doing psychology to then being one of the youngest there. I wasn't expecting that at all. There were like 100 something people on my course, and varying ages. Some people had a kind of career, or were starting a different career. Some people were just were a bit older, international students who maybe had a career in a different country and then travelled and moved here for the purpose of the course. And I just felt like, what am I doing? I had confidence to an extent in the fact that I was understanding it mostly, but I was just like, oh my god, this is a bit crazy. I think I kind of used it I used it as a bit of a positive, and I was like, well, let me think about what I can bring to the table, and also sort of play on the fact that some of my course mates just thought I was a bit silly, and I kind of am. So even my friends, I was kind of like the young one who's just a bit immature and has that youthful exuberance, I guess. But I like that. I think it's nice to have that. It's almost like my personality was made sort of crafted already, before I'd even got to know them. So yeah. Also, first term of psychology, if you're doing a conversion or something like that, so biological psychology was one, statistics was another, and then research methods was another. I don't think I can think of anything worse than doing that. Fair to say, suffice to say, that was my worst term. But it was a learning curve. I think that's where the imposter syndrome came in again. It was like, I did quite well at school. I did my degree. I found that the degree was like, I felt comfortable doing it, and I didn't feel like, oh, this is the hardest thing ever. It was reasonable, despite what I was saying about cramming and all that. I still think it was fine, and despite these kind of achievements, I guess, but there was just such a sense of you're not right for this, because I didn't do well first term. I was so deflated, and then I ended up picking it up and doing so much better second term, because they suited me more. And I think that's maybe that's a theme of this, is that you're gonna have, especially at uni, you're gonna have texts or whatever that you don't like, and text topics, whatever it is, that you don't like. And I did put the effort in with them, and I really did try. Am I cheating myself? No. I did put some effort in. And then when you're feeling really passionate about the topics that you know you are going to like and you do enjoy, that's when you're gonna do better. Of course you are, and you're gonna feel good about yourself, because this is where you can shine. So I think it's kind of, I guess here it's a marathon, not a sprint. Like, don't go, is that the right phrase? Like, don't go all in and kind of put all your emotion onto the ones that you're thinking, I'm not enjoying this, and throw yourself into it. And then let's say you're not as good at this one. Of course you want to try and get better at it, and you want to do well, but at the same time, if it's, for me, it was almost like, I'm not the bestest, I'm not going to do the bestest, I accept that, so I'm not going to like put all my emotion into it, because then I am just going to get upset, and I was upset. But I could have been a lot worse if I didn't have in my head, oh well, I'm doing personality and individual difference, I'm doing children and young people's mental health, I'm doing clinical psychology, I'm doing social psychology for term 2. So it's like, I knew in the back of my head that if I can persevere and push through those bits, then I'll be fine, because I can do the bits that I know that are more myself. Yeah, I definitely felt a bit of an imposter. Also, again, reading my friend's essays, some of them were just so smart. And I had to quickly accept that that's not the level that I'm going to be at, and that's okay, because it's new. And then with the foundation course that I'm doing at the moment, I feel like I'm again I think I'm the youngest, or one of the youngest, which is scary again, because especially with something like therapy training, I think there is this sort of judgment, and maybe rightly so, that you need life experience to be a therapist. You need some maturity. I think I've got a decent amount of maturity, and I also think I've got a life experience, to be honest. I think, well, I've got some life experience. I'm not going to pretend that I've worked in a job for 30 years and had a wife and kids and all of this, but I do think that I've been through my own struggles, and I think it's validating that and understanding that whatever it is that you have, not trying to compare it so much to others, because I think there's always going to be someone smarter than me, more life experience than me, understand something more than me. But what do I have? What do I bring to the table? And I bring that kind of, I've got confidence in the class. I feel really confident to share my ideas, feel confident as a therapist. I feel like I can articulate myself fairly well as a client. And I think I've got like I like my personality. I think I feel comfortable in myself, although I definitely get that. I think I was speaking to someone in the comments about this, that fear of being judged for talking too much, or answering too many questions, or just almost seeming like a bit of a tryhard. But that's not what it's about. It's just about being authentic and being congruent. If I want to answer that question, and if I want to say these things because I think they might be of some value, then who's to say that I shouldn't? I think, okay, I might be younger, less experienced, only starting my first real job now, over the last few months, but I think that in itself is some value, because you can use that. You can use it as, okay, I acknowledge that, but I can show you the journey of what I'm doing now and how I am going to build up those skills. And it's almost nice to have a baseline. Okay, there are certain things that I'm not going to be as strong in, but what a position to be in. So lucky, because the only way is up. But it is. I can progress with it. So I guess the main takeaway is that if you're suffering with imposter syndrome, then really try and remind yourself what have you done before, and reminding yourself of those achievements, trying to kind of connect that to where you're at the moment, rather than seeing in isolation that maybe you're not doing, or you're struggling, you're not doing as well in whatever the thing is at the moment. Seeing that, okay, maybe I'm not, but I've overcome these obstacles before, and it's all about the learning. I'm gonna get better. You're not gonna start off something being amazing. Some of you might, and I envy you, but you can't expect to sort of start off with everything polished and everything perfect. Same as these videos. It's all about embracing that kind of, I don't know, that desire to learn and desire to be better, and appreciating what you have at the moment, appreciating the skills you have at the moment, and having the awareness that, okay, yeah, not fooling yourself and saying that even though I'm not doing well, I am amazing, but just saying, okay, maybe I'm not doing as well at this, or I am thinking that I'm a bit of an outsider, but how can I maybe play on that and use it as my advantage? You might even think that some people are maybe, what's the word, discounting or counting you out, or I don't know, you get the idea. Kind of not fully appreciating that you have that ability, and I think I felt like that sometimes, but I don't really know if that was, I think that was my stuff, not theirs, definitely. But yeah, I feel like using that your perception of other people's perceptions, if you think that they're thinking you're not good enough, use that as your drive, and use that as, okay, I'm going to prove them wrong. And yeah, I think that's the main gist of it. I hope that made sense. Maybe a bit waffly again, but honestly, I'm getting a bit distracted by this sunrise. Hope I didn't say sunset again earlier. It's just incredible. It's on the wrong side for you now. Anyway, tomorrow I'm going to be talking about your why. So what is your why for doing this course, or for starting your therapy journey, or anything else? I think that's a really important thing to think about and to lay out. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day.